Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. Good morning. 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 Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Tyler, Air Knuckles. We're live, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Welcome back, day 2. There is no rhyme and reason for a guarantee of how masterclass will go. Typically, what happens is on the day 2, if a scene got to go all the way through on day 1, we workshop it a little more. If it went through all the way, or if it didn't go through all the way on day 1, sometimes I let it go. My goal would just be to help lift you up wherever you're at. So let's see where the scene's at here. We'll jump right in. We have actors Brian and Jared working through an excerpt from the play Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff?
His eyes are going.
No, I've driven with him. He sees all right, he just doesn't keep his mind on it. I drove into the city with him last week. He stops at a green light, and then it turns red, and he goes.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Pop? Well, he's got the finest eye for color in the business. You know that.
I'm going to sleep.
You're not still sour on Dad, are you, Biff?
He's all right, I guess. You smoking?
Want one?
I can never sleep when I smell it.
All right, we're gonna stop for a second. So, it's good. It's as good as it was yesterday. How does it feel?
Good as it was yesterday.
Feels like
But still,
Stale?
stale. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just was having a hard time getting into it, to be honest. So I was trying to, and then I felt like I was doing my old habit, just like a little starey. Even not just at Jared, but even the out,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I just got stuck in that.
To your credit, I actually saw you twice make the conscious decision not to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I was fighting it.
So, so here's where it's at. It's I was just listening to one of my favorite motivations in the morning, and I love the idea of this, which is we're one decision away from transformation. One decision. That's it. And one of the concepts that I like to talk about is the sense of identity, of who you are, because I think it has such bearing on life. And obviously, we must use that concept as actors of what's your identity. And as we talked about yesterday, this play has a lot to do with identity, with who you are, and your idea of who you are, and how that can be very hurtful and toxic, the way that you talk to yourself, or it could be very amazing, very amazing. It's great language I'm using. So, that being said, the question becomes, how do we get into it? The answer is thought life.
Yeah.
You must inject characters' thoughts. And one of my favorite coaching moves is, especially in improvisation, is I like to give an example, and sometimes the example will be decent. It'll be something that gets a reaction from the audience, but I like to rewind and share with my class the 2 or 3 bad ideas that I filtered out. Because I get just as scared and nervous as everybody else does.
Yeah.
And so the character name, I can't get out of my head as John, as Jeff, and then I'm like, stop, breathe, be here. And then the creative name comes to me for an improvisational moment. So for you guys, it's gonna be, the cameras, the whatever the thought life is that's trying to kill you, trying to strangle you. And you must have the discipline to dismiss it and then find what is the character thinking and allow them to think. And you will come in and out of it a bit. It's like almost impossible to be fully there, but you can keep driving yourself back in. So, for instance, you are listening to your father downstairs. Mm-hmm. It's a visceral thing. And you're going to have a thought. And your thoughts will drive emotion, but you don't have to add the emotion. You don't have to, be a certain way. You just have to listen to it. And in fact, most of the time, what we do in life is we try to mask the emotion. This time of year, I get red eyes. So I put in eye drops. Mm. When you're feeling tired, you put cold water on your face and you try not to look tired, right? If you're angry at your dad, you're going to try not to be angry at your dad. You're not going to play angry.
Right.
If you're insecure, you're going to act like a womanizer. This outward expression of us trying to hide what is true. So that's how we can get into it. And then secondarily, I think the two of you are capable of, and I'll put it on you as the senior actor, but of lifting the room. Mm. There is this sense of I'm not doing it now on purpose.
Right.
But there's a sense of I am the most important thing right now. And if you're on the stage, you are the most important thing, but you better damn know it. Because we can tell everyone to turn off their phones and we can tell them all to put it on silent, but they're going to start getting restless if you don't demand their attention. Okay? So I have a couple exercises in mind for you guys, but before we do any of that, why don't we see if we can start this over? And even like, what I want to be careful of is this particular scene it's a classic, it's so good, but it's not slow. It doesn't need to be slow.
Yeah.
And so even like just getting to your next thing, will be helpful, and by really listening to each other. So let's say your plan is to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
You start to go to bed. You hear a little.
Yeah.
You smoking? Like, there doesn't need to be a pause.
Yeah, I screwed that up. Yeah,
But it was there
you're
yesterday
right.
too. I mean, it's just like this like idea of, we don't have to see it. We can just be there and keep the pace going. And if we have a big, loud voice, we don't talk faster. We just suck out all the fat. Okay, so let's try that.
We going back to the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Jared, and it's not a big deal, but I'll even help you with this. Sit back down, Brian. So even that question is taking you out of the scene. It's kind of obvious we're going back to the beginning, I think, not sure, but what you need to do instead is see him, hear Dad. It says in there he gets up and goes over there. So the him getting up could have been part of it if we wanted it to be. But instead you were like, oh, he's got to be there before I can be here. I just need you to see a balcony. You see where I am, fourth wall here? I'm listening with my head up in the downward direction, and I'm hearing Dad. And it hurts my heart because I know that he hears Dad. And I'm really curious of how that is hitting him. And so then I want to do something about it. That's what's happening in this moment. And then we're going to interject. And then for him, it's the same, it's sort of the same thing, only he's in his own zone where he's not so worried about you right now. But there could be this like insane curiosity as to what is being said. Because he says later, like, what's he say about me? Mm-hmm. As he's going through this dementia thing, and I mean, it's pretty sad, what they're going through. It's also, weirdly, you get to hear people's inner thoughts. So I wonder what Dad says about me behind my back. I get to hear it. That's where he's coming from. And he doesn't think it's going to be good.
Yeah. He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, Biff?
His eyes are going.
No. I've driven with him. He sees all right. He just doesn't keep his mind on it. I drove into the city with him last week. He stops at a green light, and then it turns red, and he goes.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Pop? Why, he's got the finest eye for color in the business. You know that.
All right, so what's going on in your mind now, Brian?
I was just trying to hear the voice, and then I started thinking about how this is, like, the thoughts for me were this is crazy, like, this is getting worse, and, like, here we go, we're gonna fight again, like, it's coming again, like, because we fought, like, earlier before we even went out on this date, and, like, hearing it is, like, hurting my heart also, because some of the thoughts I was putting in were just like, God, I haven't even been gone that long. It's like so much worse. Like, there was a little bit of guilt I was starting to feel for not being home. And so I was just kind of hearing some of that and doing my best to like really picture it. So, yeah.
I think that's great. The problem is you forgot to cover it up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's essentially what I saw on your face. But,
Sure, so as to...
But when he says his eyes are going, why does he say that?
To try and just like say what's happening. Like, just
It's a
be
deflection. His eyes are going would be better than him going crazy.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Well, maybe he's colorblind.
Yeah, you're defending...
What,
yeah.
Pop? Colorblind? You know that that's not it.
Yeah, sure.
It's worse, Biff. It's worse than that. It's as bad as you think it is, but worse. I was driving with him, and this is what he did. Well, maybe he was just tired. Yeah, it could be. Could be. Maybe it's that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the meaning of it. But so everything you're doing is right. Only,
Don't want to get caught.
yeah, and by him. You don't want to get caught by him.
Sure.
Again. 10x, Jared. 10x. 10 times. The energy, the vocal velocity.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff?
His eyes are going.
No. He sees. Damn it, Jared. I've driven with him.
Yeah,
I've driven with him.
And you know what happens? You know what happens? Actors always lose their shit when they get it right once. That's what happens. So you grabbed the room, and now all of a sudden the room was like, oh, wow, Jared can talk. That's cool. And then you're like, where are my lines? Can't find them because I'm not used to doing it right.
Yeah.
Now don't get caught covering it up either.
Ah, okay. Yep. Balance!
You just 180'd the other direction. What
Yeah,
you have
right.
to do is think, feel, hear, respond with 10x vocal velocity, because if you don't, he's going to fall right back into his old habits.
Yeah, right.
Again.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff?
His eyes are going.
No. I've driven with him. He sees all right. He just doesn't keep his mind on it. I drove into the city with him last week. He stopped at a green light, and then it turns red, and he goes.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Pop?
Try it again, Brian. Landed on him. Big voice.
Yeah.
Every word
There you go.
matters.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe he's colorblind. Maybe he's colorblind.
Pop? Why, he's got the finest eye for color in the business. You know that.
I'm going to...
Again, Jared.
Too quiet.
Way too quiet.
Pop? Why, he's got the finest eye for color in the business. You know that.
Good. Now slow it down.
Pop? Why, he's got the finest eye for color in the business. You know that.
I'm going to sleep.
You're not still sour on Dad, are you, Biff?
He's all right, I guess.
So that pause isn't there,
Right.
is it? Does it say pause for a long period of time?
Well, Willie talks.
Oh, okay. So you're listening to Willie there.
Yeah, so someone could yell it out. Or
He's all right, I guess. Yes, sir. 80,000 miles, 82,000. See, and you're late.
But I couldn't hear the. So I have to say you smoking, but I can't say you smoking unless I, like, hear it or see. So I guess I could turn. That would be and see it.
I can never sleep when I smell it.
Right.
Turns out you smelled it.
Yeah, but he hasn't even lit it yet, so I can't. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's
Sure.
where the pause is. So.
Okay. So I move. I heard a cigarette hit the ground. I know he's smoking.
Okay.
Why didn't I talk before? Because Dad was talking. All I'm saying, there's a rhythm to this thing.
Yeah, sure.
So if we stay in the zone, it's like I'm gonna go to bed. I already know he's smoking. I ask you, you smoking? What I really mean is, can I have a cigarette?
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
But this is we're gonna go back to the top, boys.
Yeah.
This is the rhythm. And Jared, it's like, you started to have it, but happy's happy. He's fake happy, but he's
Yeah.
he's and so it's like, boom. This is my voice, and I'm talking to him. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah.
All right.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Like the difference with me is I don't let people off the hook. My own scene partner, I ain't gonna let off the hook because it's not in their best interest. So if Brian was fake for 1 second, if he was, I'm not saying he was, but if he was, I hold that shit.
He does.
And now he's funny,
Yeah.
right? So you get big, and then Brian, you have to look back, connect to him. Mm-hmm. It can't be look in your direction. It has to be I see my brother, and I say this thing to my brother.
Okay. Yeah.
See, I workshopped being silly and happy and and I feel like I did too much of it last night. Because I was like, this is way too much. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like.
No, it's fine. I don't know. You said you workshopped it last night, and now you're okay.
Like I went.
But we didn't get to workshop it.
No,
That's
but by
what I was
myself. It was like I was.
I'm not asking you to be a clown. I'm not asking for that. What I'm saying is you have the ability to grab the room. And you have the instrument. You just don't use it. So you stand up, you use your voice, you use your power, and the room is yours. Or it's not. And it's just a little, acting exercise, and I coach it. But when you grab the room, we are forced to pay attention. That's the difference.
Okay.
Okay? I've said this, is that when the lights go on, what happens? One of the plays I did a long time ago called The Boys Next Door, buddy of mine, Greg Renfro, was second on stage, and I had the opening monologue, and it was direct to the audience. And I was playing a character who was sort of mentally handicapped, and I'm talking to the audience, and Greg told me after opening night, he goes, I was on the wings, and I had never seen anything like that. The way you just lit up and were so connected and loud, it was terrifying for me. But I knew I had to rise up because the lights were on.
Yeah.
So when the lights come on, you got to step into the light and go, this is mine now, baby. I'm taking it. And I'm taking you with me. And I mean it. Like, come on, baby, I'm taking you with me.
All right.
You okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
You know what, if I accidentally knock him down, like, I would fix it in the scene. Like, who cares? Because we're the Loman Brothers. You
All
know what I mean?
right.
All right, come on. Dare to fail, boys, dare to fail.
All right. He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff.
His eyes are going.
No. I've driven with him. He sees all right, he just doesn't keep his mind on it. I drove into the city with him last week. He stops at a red light. He does not stop at a red light. He stops at a green light.
Yep.
Did that yesterday.
It also wasn't good. It wasn't good. You were both louder, though. Do it again. You have to be able to put the two together.
Yeah.
I must be loud and connect and get my lines right.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff?
His eyes are going.
No. He sees all right, he just doesn't keep his mind on it. I drove into the city with him last week. He stops at a green light, and then it turns red, and he goes.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Pop?
That's fake, Brian. That's the
Okay.
thing, right? So you have to get it from him.
Okay.
You have to get it from him. So here's one of the things too that that I wanted to talk about today anyway, and it's probably going to come up in every scene, which is, how do we disturb the air? How do we improvise? Let's take you. What must you do to start the scene?
Stand up.
That's right.
Well, listen first, I guess, but then stand up.
No, but you're right. The playwright says you stand up, but what he actually says is
Get out of bed.
getting out of bed.
So while I'm standing.
It's open for interpretation. It doesn't say he stands right next to him. It doesn't say he pats him on the shoulder or doesn't pat him on the shoulder.
Right.
It doesn't say when he says his opening line. It doesn't say if he looks fourth wall this way. It doesn't say if he does whatever he does. That gets to be an improvisation. And then same with you, Brian. So it's like, you know you're there, but then what?
But then what? Yeah.
Right? And that's how you keep your scene partner off balance, is by delivering punches from a different angle, slightly. Now I'm forced to listen to you because you're giving it to me differently. And then I say, thank you for that. Where you get, where we as actors get to feel self-conscious is when we feel ourselves repeating the same thing, because you know it feels false. So then you're like, and good on you because you don't like it. So Brian, you can do it different. It's gotta land.
Yeah. Okay.
Big voice, no acty.
He's going to get his license and get to... Start over.
Why'd that happen?
Because I tried to do something different.
That's right.
Try to do
That's
something
right.
right.
Because you've now memorized a pattern.
Yep.
So now flip it again. See, here's the way to be brave. The way to be brave is now lay down. Snuggle up.
Snuffleupagus.
Big loud voice. You gotta be louder because you're laying down. Talk now. Now. Now.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff?
His eyes are going.
Why'd you turn around?
Just Because it
Do you
was.
see- but look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah, it was.
Were you Superman?
No, I don't know why I was. It just, yeah. Just felt comfortable.
I know, but I did all this shit for him.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't need to look at him. I know. It's my thing.
Stop and listen. So, you could peek when he's
Right.
getting out of bed. Cool. Breathe.
Yeah.
Say something to him. You just got yourself caught off balance because what I was doing over here.
Yeah.
So now the same thing for you. You're here, you're listening. You may or may not be curious. If you're curious, you look, but you don't need to turn around, and either way, it's like you have to think. What did he say?
What did you just say?
What did he just say?
He was talking about his eyes.
So what did he say?
I don't remember.
He's gonna get his license.
He's gonna get his license taken away. And I say his eyes are going.
Process that.
Okay.
That's you. So the difference is you must hear the line. You have to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's going to lose his business. Your uncle? He's going to lose it.
He's old.
Okay. You just,
I don't know.
it's right. You found something.
Yeah.
All I did was I forced you to think about a situation.
Yeah.
So he's going to get his license taken away. There's a process to that. That's the DMV. That's him being pulled over by the cops. That's the like okay, it's not repairable. To which you respond with, okay, after I've done the processing work, yeah, I agree. His eyes are going. No, it's worse. Well, maybe he's just colorblind. Well, you're an idiot. You know that that's not true.
Yeah.
Now your job is to do it different
Something-
again.
yeah.
For your own sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff?
His eyes are going.
No. I've driven with him. He sees all right, he just doesn't keep his mind on it. I drove into the city with him last week, and he stops at a green light, and then it turns red, and he goes.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Pop? Why, he's got the finest eye for color in the business. You know that.
I'm going to sleep.
You're not still sour on Dad, are you, Biff?
He's all right, I guess. You smoking?
Want one?
I can never sleep when I smell it.
Good, guys. I'll make you do it again. It was good. So pop quiz.
Hot shot. Sorry.
Pop quiz. Hot shot. When does Arthur Miller specifically say that you go get the cigarettes?
When I say, you're not still sour on Dad, are you, Biff? And then Willie is heard mumbling, and Happy lights a cigarette.
And Happy what?
Lights a cigarette?
I don't see that.
So, you don't see...
You can show him the direction.
His, Oh, shoot. I guess he doesn't say that. I guess I just assume I was smoking. Because I'd have to have something for him to say that to.
Aha. Aha.
Yeah.
Aha.
Eureka.
Happy's getting out of bed.
Yeah.
What's on his mind?
His dad talking, his brother reacting to it.
Which is arguably stressful.
Yeah.
What does Happy do when confronted with stress?
You want me to say he smokes?
He goes and gets a cigarette. Absolutely. So my point is this. Rather than having to quickly fumble and be like at the right perfect time, have it.
Oh.
Go get it sooner.
Yeah.
Whenever you want, because he didn't say when you have to. All we know is you have to have it by that line. And I'm going to get on him for a pause. And now you're making your job harder.
Huh.
Yes, Brian.
Are we gonna get the dad or not? So that's what I was waiting on. Like, are you gonna say it, or am I just imagining it?
Oh, if you want me to say it, I'll say it. Yeah, I was going to let you imagine it.
Go either way. That's
Yeah.
what I thought it was happening, and then I was like, oh, it's not happening. That's what I.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Again. How'd that feel, Jared?
Better, faster. I've been,
Different, right?
yeah.
Different. So, and again, we get the cigarette. Whenever we get the cigarette, maybe you get it when you get up and you put it in your pocket. Then I have it.
Yeah.
Maybe I like to think, I feel like one. Put it in my pocket. I don't pull it out till I want to. Whatever. I mean, there's so many options. That's the point. But when you're doing it different, it is improvisational. Therefore, it's good
Okay.
because it's more real life. Because it's not a rehearsed, sticky thing. Okay.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up.
Didn't grab us.
Didn't grab me either.
Voice.
Yeah.
Voice didn't grab us.
I felt weird with the action anyway.
Okay.
I was just trying to do
so
something
that's why
different.
you buried your voice.
Yeah.
Right there. Big loud. Shout it. No, I didn't say move. Right there. Big loud. Go.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up.
Start getting up. Keep talking.
I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff?
His eyes are going.
No, I've driven with him. He sees all right, he just doesn't keep his mind on it. I drove into the city with him last week. He stops at a green light, and then it turns red, and he goes.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Pop? He's got the finest eye for color in the business. You know that.
I'm going to sleep.
All right. So Brian, not supposed to be on the bed yet.
I know. I just felt like it, and I thought I'd just try it. And then I was like, "You idiot! You can't do that." But I just
No,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not. It's fine. But,
I was trying
but
to,
now it ruined his. Hey, he got cigarettes in his hand now.
Yeah, right.
So then you saw it. But
Yep.
yeah. Again.
Again!
It's fun. And honestly, I think it is to the audience, but it is to me, truthfully. So hopefully it is to you guys. But like, reworking a very specific moment, especially the beginning,
Yes.
to me is fascinating. Because we get to watch something that was already pretty good, have glimmers of great, to where it's like, wow. Because then when you feel it, it's like that can be recreated and recreated and recreated per moment, but it's hard to do.
Yeah. Well,
So
we're
I
not-
can move forward, but at the same time, it's like, to me, this is really fun. It's really fun to see you be creative in new ways. And your response last time was my favorite. And I'm like terrified to say that to you because I don't want you to try to
No,
repeat it,
no,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It was my favorite because it felt very natural.
Yeah.
It felt like you were responding improvisationally to his new improvisational plays.
Yeah.
The reason I said do it from where you were was because it was so interesting. His hand was here.
Yeah, you're hung over from a date.
That and you're listening to Dad.
Yeah, that's
you know? And this makes a sound. This physicality makes a sound. There's a that comes to that. And it played, you know? He's gonna get it, you know, that's there. It's not, it was a nice thing, but you wanted to get away from it. It was like right from there, you're like, okay. So now you get to go back to whatever you're gonna go to, and then I want you to surprise yourself. Be like, where do I not feel ready? Go from there. Like right now, go. No, you did it again.
Oh.
Now you got to reset. You do your own thing. But that's my point. Surprise yourself.
I really try to do that. I just
Great.
overthink.
Okay.
He's going to get his license taken away if he keeps that up. I'm getting nervous about him, you know, Biff?
His eyes are going.
No, I've driven with him. He sees all right. He just doesn't keep his mind on it. I drove into the city with him last week. He stops at a green light, and then it turns red, and he goes.
Maybe he's colorblind.
Pop?
Yeah.
It's just a line. There's no pause. There's no comma. There's no nothing.
Okay. Maybe he's colorblind. Yeah,
The last one was fine. It was good. Yeah. Keep going.
Pop? Why, he's got the finest eye for color in the business. You know that.
I'm going to sleep.
You're not still sour on Dad, are you, Biff?
He's all right, I guess.
Yes, sir. 80,000 miles, 82,000.
You smoking?
Mullen?
I can never sleep when I smell it.
Funny, Biff, you know? Us sleeping in here again. The old beds. All the talk that went across.
Say I can never sleep when I smell it. I forgot I have a role now.
I can never sleep when I smell it.
What a seminizing job! Ha!
Funny, Biff, you know? Us sleeping in here again. The old beds. All the talk that went across those two beds, huh? Our whole lives.
Yeah. A lot of dreams and plans.
Do it again, Brian. Stop worrying about seeing him. Don't you know where he's at?
Yes, I do.
So let him see you. Just do your thing and talk.
Yeah.
Just speak. Just speak.
Yeah. A lot of dreams and plans.
About 500 women would like to know what was said in this room.
Remember that big Betsy something? What the hell was her name over on Bushwick Avenue?
With the collie dog.
That's the one.
Okay. You're an asshole. No offense, I'm being funny. It's not funny. You can go light it for him.
Yeah,
It's not in the play.
No, I know.
It's not in the play. Don't do it. But if he's struggling, go do it because that was the moment. Because that was the moment.
We did that in rehearsals and he said he didn't like it.
Who said, Brian?
What?
Remember, I was lighting it for you and you were like, I hated it.
On that one, yeah, but not like as a whole.
Oh, I thought you just hated it as a whole. My bad.
No, like it was just like
Well,
I didn't like.
and that could be a growth for you as a rehearsal partner,
Sure.
possibly. Because sometimes if you're like, I hate that, maybe the other person feels like, oh, I'll get punished if I do that. Maybe I'm just throwing it out
Sure.
there.
Yeah.
But this is so whether he hates it or not, you have to not care.
Okay.
Because otherwise, the whole rest of the scene, he's gonna be rubbing that thing against his knee.
Yeah.
You know, or he's not gonna be able to smoke or whatever. You know, and you'll probably have to give up on smoking.
I was about to.
No, for real. You
Yeah.
know. Does that light?
Most of the
Yeah.
time.
Let
yeah.
me see it light.
There it goes.
I just didn't give it enough, like,
I was really worried that your pajamas were gonna set on fire.
like, and sometimes it lights, but I don't see it, And then I almost light myself. That's happened a couple times. Like, he was like, you're gonna set yourself on fire. And I'm like, maybe, okay, maybe.
Okay. Because we are acting too.
True.
gonna lose his
I actually
pants.
like the tension it creates when I'm trying to do it personally, but that's just. I
Well,
have
but
to
but
balance
here's
it.
what happened though.
Then I lost everything.
You stopped talking.
Yeah, I know.
So then I had you keep talking. So it's got to be. But my point is like, you could also just make the motion because you're actually not lighting a cigarette either.
True.
So if you wanted to, you could see a flame.
Yeah.
You know. But point being, we want to fall into the improvisation.
Yeah.
And you need to let him. But to his credit, you shouldn't have planned to light it for him. Like that wouldn't have been a blocking choice that I would recommend. Of like, oh, I'll do this for you every time, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It would be like, oh, if that happened one time, cool. And that is also one of the things that you should think about in rehearsal. What if? If this happens, what could we do? If this happens, what could we do? What would be options? If I completely forget my line, what could we do? Because when it's not class, you don't get that opportunity to stop and say, oh, what should we do? You have to deal with it.
Right.
All right.
He's going to set his pants on fire if he keeps that up.
He's been holding on to that one.
Yeah,
All right, here we
a
go.
little bit.
You smoking? We'll pick it up from there. Yes, sir. 80,000 miles, 82,000.
You smoking? I can never sleep when I smell it.
So, can you
just
feel a
went.
twinge of fake on the
Of
end
course.
of that?
That one was. I didn't like that one.
What was it?
I
Did
just
you
did
identify it?
I did. Yeah. Well, because the reason is like I didn't have the thought life behind it.
But can you
had.
identify the thing that you do? The mustard you put on?
Like how I do it? Mm-hmm. Well, I get loud enough, and then I say it the way that it sounds in my head vocally, without any like thoughts or feelings behind it. It's just the sound without the feeling, is what it is. What I do.
Okay.
Came from the theater stuff.
Yeah. And then you add a little punch.
And then that's physicality.
Right.
In the theater, you always had physicality. You had to be big enough to be seen in the back row. So it's like, you miss something, you just physicalize it enough, and they're like, oh, I know what he's doing. So just bad habits.
Okay,
in a
good.
long time.
And so it's good that you know that. So now.
And honestly, the truth with this, like we said yesterday, like we didn't get enough of it. That it's like that you're free enough to feel that. Like it's getting there now, but it wasn't before. Like you didn't get a first free rehearsal until the day before, like really. So it's like kind of discovering the thought life now more than anything. You know what I mean?
Yes, but this is also just a an every time thing, whether or not you've had a bunch of rehearsals or not.
Sure.
Okay. Do you have the cigarettes? Can you bring me one?
Anything with a white top, everything with a black is something that I put my mouth on probably.
I can never sleep when I smell it. That's the moment. It's take, then you say it, is actually the way it's written anyway.
Okay.
So there's going to be the jumble of whatever
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes more
of a
sense.
cigarette.
Yeah.
If you're a smoker too, you can always make life easier. You know, you want one, and you could pull out one like that, offer the pack, let him just zip one out. Would be nice. Let's try that. But the idea is you take the cigarette,
Yeah.
you think. Because when he says want one, like there is a little bit of subtext here. You smoking?
Yeah, like, can I have
Can
one?
I have one? Also, you smoking? Oh, you still smoke? Like, we haven't seen each other in a while. You want one? Do you still smoke?
Never sleep
No,
on
not.
it.
I don't really smoke, but I can't sleep.
Yeah.
You know, so right now I will. I don't know. Like, there's a little bit of undertone there. You know,
Yeah.
but it's not like deep or anything.
No,
you don't have to
yeah.
overthink it. But it's just like let this happen. it's this hard ass combination of big, loud, grab the room, grounded reality. And that's where everybody gets tripped up because they're like, I feel fake when I'm speaking loudly. But you won't if you're actually thinking and actually connecting to the other person. Because we can connect with a loud voice. It's just we're not used to it.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, sir. 52,000, 82,000.
You smoking?
Want one?
I can never sleep
Sorry, you said.
when I
Again,
smell it.
yeah.
Could have just said it anyway.
Yeah, but holding out a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Then he says, want one.
Yep.
Taking a cigarette.
I can never sleep when I smell it.
So you're taking it. Yeah, so you've already got it, or you take it, or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's the fumble that gets us stuck.
Yeah. Well, and I also missed the stage direction too, so got in my head.
Yes,
Do
sir. 82,000 miles, 82,000.
You smoking?
Want one?
I can never sleep when I smell it.
Again. You preempted his offer.
That he was going to give it by getting up? You smoking?
I was going to say my line.
Also, real quick, we are losing fuel, so don't worry
Just
about
don't
that.
use the real, yeah. it's
Yeah.
fine.
Just
Go ahead. Yes, sir. 82,000, 82,000.
You smoking?
want one?
I can never sleep when I smell it.
Yeah, what a cinematic job. Ha!
Funny, Biff, you know? Us sleeping in here again, the old beds. All the talk that went across those two beds, huh? Our whole lives.
Yeah. A lot of dreams and plans.
About 500 women would like to know what was said in this room.
Bigger. Do it again. Bigger. About.
Oh, I know. I was
Oh, okay.
doing what we talked about yesterday. About 500 women would like to know what was said in this room.
Remember that Big Betsy something? What the hell was her name? Over on Bushwick Avenue.
With the collie dog.
That's the one. I got you in there, remember?
Yeah, that was
With
my
the
first.
collie dog is exclamation point. Remember, go again. And get through it, Brian. Don't fake it. Remember, pick it up from remember. Enjoy this.
Remember that Big Betsy something? What the hell was her name over on Bushwick Avenue?
With the collie dog.
That's the one. I got you in there, remember?
Yeah. That was my first time, but I think. Boy, there was a pig. You taught me everything I know about women. Don't forget that.
I bet you forgot how bashful you used to be, especially around girls.
Oh, I still am, Biff.
Go back, Brian.
I bet you forgot how bashful you used to be, especially around girls.
Oh, I still am, Biff.
Oh, go on.
I just control it, that's all. I think I got less bashful and you got more so. What happened, Biff? Where's the old humor, the old confidence?
Do it again. Bigger.
All right.
Big, loud. Like that. You still have to hold the room.
Yep.
I just control it.
I just control it. That's all. I think I got less bashful and you got more so. What happened, Biff? Where's the old humor? The old confidence? What's the matter?
Why does Dad mock me all the time?
He's not mocking you.
Everything I say, there's a twist of mockery on his face. I can't get near him.
He just wants you to make good. That's all. I wanted to talk to you about Dad for a long time, Biff. Something's happening to him. He talks to himself.
I noticed that this morning. But he's always mumbled.
But not so noticeable. It got so embarrassing, I sent him to Florida. And you know something? Most of the time, he's talking to you.
Stop, Brian. Stop.
What's he say about me?
I can't make it out.
What's he say about me?
I think the fact that you're not settled down, that you're still kind of up in the air.
There's one or two other things depressing him happy.
What do you mean?
Never mind. Just don't lay it all to me.
But I think if you just got started, I mean, is there any future for you out there?
Hap, I don't know what the future is. I don't know what I'm supposed to want.
What do you mean?
Well, I spent 6 or 7 years after high school trying to work myself up. Shipping clerk, salesman, business of some kind or another, and it is a measly manner of existence. To get on that subway on the hot mornings in summer, to devote your whole life to taking stock or making phone calls,
Out and straight, and don't move. Out, up, head up.
to devote your whole life
Just feel.
to taking stock or making phone calls or selling or buying.
Don't move. Straight forward. Keep talking.
Or selling or buying. To suffer 50 weeks of the year for the sake of a 2-week vacation, when all you really desire is to be outdoors with your shirt off. And always have to get ahead of the next fella. And still, that's how you build a future.
Well, you really enjoy it on a farm? Are you content out there?
Hap, I've had 20 or 30 different kind of jobs since I left home before the war, and it always turns out the same. In Nebraska, when I heard
You're
a
doing
cat...
it again with the movement. Up, out. You look like a superhero when you do that.
I do this?
No,
What do I do? Oh,
in a good way.
I see. Oh, got you.
You look like a movie star. Or you would if you took one step backwards. but the idea
You're right.
and we're about at time anyway, but
Yeah,
the
no,
idea is
It felt way better.
when you're still like that, and what the movement is it's just you hiding,
Yeah.
trying to find the line or whatever, a little bit. But you come out here and you add what you've earned, which is the feeling and the acting that you're capable of with your thought life, and it's like boom. And then what happens is we go to him, he's going to you, we're locked on you. Locked. Then when you move, it matters.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do this next monologue, and we'll end. Out. We want to see the eyes.
Hap, I've had 20 or 30 different kind of jobs since I left home before the war, and it always turns out the same. That's why I came home now, I guess, because I realized it. In Nebraska, when I herded cattle, and the Dakotas and Arizona, and now in Texas. That's why I came home now, I guess.
Now turn and look at him. Talk to him. Turn.
This farm I work on,
Move up a little, Jared. Help him out. So this comes back to like instinct, right? So now we can't be here too long. Eventually I got to turn.
Yeah.
You have to know, let me come here so that he can look over at me and he still gets to be out. So he's saying this thing, he looks at me and I can go ahead and listen to him deeply. Because our eyes are still on him, not on me, and now he's out. Now at some point, whenever I want to move, what's your next line?
You're a poet. You know that, Biff? You're a...
You're a poet. You know that, Biff? A goddamn poet. Whoosh, whatever I'm going to do next. But now I'm moving, so I wouldn't get stuck here.
Yeah. That is
But
something
I would cheat for him if I saw it. It's an improvisational move.
That is something we talked about because I didn't want to upstage him because you talked about that in one of your monologue classes. And I was like, I don't know when I should or if it's too much.
This is
for me
the opposite of upstaging.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
This is upstaging yourself to move up here.
Right. That's what, yeah.
Back here, you are upstaging.
Right. That's what I
Yeah. Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would that would be the win.
Cool.
The win is I know he's got a monologue to keep going, but he wants to look at me.
Bad.
So since he turns to look at me, you know, I could look at him back, or I could let him talk to me here, and now he can look at me, but he's not looking that way.
Yeah.
It's just strategy. All right, boys, have a seat. We'll talk about it.
Flip the couch.
Brian, you want to?
I dropped your really expensive hat.
No. It's okay. It's just a hat.
All right, how we feeling?
Feel the confidence. I feel good. Feels good to be acting again and feeling like the career isn't stuck. Yeah, it's been I don't know, it's just been a huge blessing. Thankful to Deering, thanks for Brian, bringing me part of the team. Because, you know, I was kind of stuck, it felt like. You and I still have to, when we catch up, there will be so much I tell you. But a huge part of that did make me feel like my acting career was stagnant, or that it was done, over with, and it was never gonna, and now I get to like feel like an actor and a storyteller again, which is what I love doing. So it feels good. It feels good to get the coaching. It feels good to be brought up to the level again that I know I can do better at. And you know, things that you would say during the performance, it felt stale to me because I kept on doing the same thing. You notice, stops at a green light, and then it turns red. I did that like 5 times, and I was like, I hate this. And so it felt really cool to have that and that coaching and that experience and that guidance. So biggest thing, I guess, is just gratitude, but I really do feel good that I'm working the craft again.
Good, and hopefully you heard it as tools that you can then recreate on your own as well. Because you think about that moment and then you go, okay, how can I overcome this thing? Like the way I always think about it whenever I'm working with a coach is I think, all right, as soon as they tell me something I don't know, or I didn't, or I forgot about, or they say it in a new way that pops, I'm like, oh, awesome. Then I want to go back, but I want to get coached on something new, ideally.
Yeah.
So then the question is, all right, so with that repeated physicality move, how do I overcome that on my own? And the answer is, I practice trying to come up with 30 different ways to say the green light, red, then it goes. And then I've got 30 options, and so if we repeat it 2 or 3 times, I'm gonna pick the one that just comes. But it won't be the same because I've actually practiced different options.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's a tool. And then that tool repeats throughout the entire scene and through all of your characters. Bright guy.
It was great. It was really, really good. Yeah, I love this play. I picked it because I saw David do it. I've seen it for a while, and I saw them do it, and I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is so good. I love it. And I like just watching them do it made me fall in love with it. And I love it so much. Like I've listened to the Audible like 100,000 times, and I watched the movie like 60 billion times, and like literally like I watched my tape last night a bunch of times. Like I love this play, and I love when I got into a place where I loved like just bringing it to life and using all the years of your training to be able to do that. And like you said, just get emotional. And so just shaving off those bad habits was awesome for me, because it had been a year, like, you know, so they just, when you haven't worked them and you're not doing them consistently, the bad habits just come right back. They just like flood right back in. And so it was like, as I was going, I was like, oh yeah, duh. And then like kind of riding a bike, it was like, oh yeah. And then it started to like, I could feel it falling more into place. And so that was really great. And it was this weekend was super needed for me. I just needed it really bad. So I was really happy. It's like, yeah, I just was in the spot where, you know, I was telling Joey, and I was just like, I was in a rut again, and I was just like, man, I just like reset my life, and it was awesome. And like, what the hell happened? Like took 2 weeks or a month, and it just turned around into like garbage, and like, and then this like being in here again and having to produce at a high level up there was just like, oh yeah, like this is where you live, bro. What are you doing? And then I went back to the gym last night, even though I was super tired, and crushed it. And then I got to pray over some new guy who didn't know the Bible, and like taught him it and how it works and like where they are. And then we get in the sauna and told like testimony to 2 other people, and like it was an incredible night. And it all happened because of what you put together for this class. And so the acting amazing, but also like just the weekend as a whole has been just very, very spiritually amazing for me. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. It's supposed to be transformative.
Yeah, it was.
That's what the weekend is for. You're paying to put yourself out there, and you're paying to grind.
Yeah.
And you're paying to expect more out of yourself than you normally do. And why? Like, why would I do that? Because it actually feels good.
Yeah.
You forget, but it actually feels good to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave you with this. It's a lesson you taught me 2 nights ago. And I've been thinking about it a lot. I landed a big keynote speech recently for a big conference.
Yeah.
Put in a bid. They countered with more money. And I said to Brian, I gotta work on this keynote contract I have to send over. And he said to me, enjoy it. To which I said, I don't think so, man. I don't think I'm ever gonna enjoy writing up a contract, you know. And he said, maybe not, but it's your first one. It's your first one. And there's an alternative where you could not have a contract.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, it's a pretty good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So then about 35 minutes later, I don't know if you picked up on this, but I spit it right back in his face. Because he's sitting behind the desk and he's stressed from your guys' rehearsal.
Yes.
And I go, enjoy it.
He did. He sure did. I was like, motherfucker. Right back at me, bro.
Enjoy it.
And I did. Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, the phrase I pulled that I wanted to repeat to the world and keep in my own brain is, be careful about what you complain about.
Yeah.
If I complain to my parents about my job, my parents are going to talk me into quitting my job. If I complain to my wife about whatever, she's going to talk to me about not doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful about what you complain about. Do I need to come home and complain that I have to spend time with my kids and I have to use all this extra energy, or I get to?
Yeah.
And as soon as you flip the switch and decide, I'm at least going to be careful about what I complain about.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't complain, but just be careful about it. Because every word that comes out, every little negativity that I'm trying to share to try to get sympathy for, why am I doing that? It's just attention seeking or whatever it is. It's trying to make yourself feel like whatever and make people think that you're great or that you're doing whatever. And I love this idea. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And I'm gonna enjoy it. And I am, you know, I am in a very positive way terrified. Because it's a bigger stage. That's what I always tell people. You earn a bigger stage.
Yes.
And then as soon as you do, it's just as terrifying as the last bigger stage. So if this is 300 people, it'll feel different when it's 3,000 people. And it will feel different when it's 300,000 people. And all of a sudden it's like you have a choice. You level up or you don't. And you either enjoy the process or you don't.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
I'm glad this weekend's been awesome for you. Let's keep it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a picture of you against the back.
All right, we got a
picture of you
quick
against the back.
reset here to Reasons to be Pretty, everybody. Reasons to be Pretty.